Welcome to Well Coached, a podcast about how people, sales, profit, and self can transform your business. I'm your host, Chris Weinberg, and I have helped hundreds of entrepreneurs get into their highest productivity zone and become corporate enough to succeed. Let's get into today's episode. Hey team, welcome back to the Well Coached podcast. I'm Chris Weinberg, and today we are going to talk about culture. More specifically, how do we scale a business without losing the heart, the magic, the scrappy soul that made your business so special in the first place? You don't need cubicles and khakis to grow, but you do need clarity, consistency, connection, and we're going to break it down across the silos of people, sales, profit, and self. First off, in the people lane, culture is not a mural. It's not a value statement, although you may have those, and I'm sure they're lovely. But culture is really about how people treat each other when you're not in the room. So hire for cultural alignment. Hire people who reflect your energy and your values, not just your resume wish list. And protect that onboarding, feedback, and rituals with everything you've got. Was literally with someone yesterday, team yesterday that I've been with since just about their day one. And they just hit the vein of Americana culture in what they do. And they're resonating their value proposition through their culture because, frankly, they make a commodity product that lots of people sell. But what attracts clients to these folks is the culture that they put out to the world and the culture that they insist on inside of their four walls. And yesterday we were literally talking about how do we take this business that used to be under $1 million, now going to be about 15 million, growing toward 50. How do we protect that culture? And it always is from the look of the leader, right? The leader sets the pace for the pack. And I want you to remember with culture, when you're the leader, especially in a small organization, you can accidentally get into friendship mode. So conversation becomes loose. Words aren't chosen carefully. And now we start bringing new people into the environment. And the vision that founder had is maybe not top mind awareness coming out of his or her mouth nonstop. So the new person that you bring in may be hearing about how you like to fish on the weekends versus why did you start the company? What is our beacon? What is our North Star? And what I want you to take from this is, as the leader of your company, you are the leader of your culture, and that will never change. Everything that comes out of your mouth is landing, and it's landing whether you think it is or not. So I want you to think about being friends and being liked by the folks around you. That's a benefit. It's not a requirement. What the requirement is that you are consistently pushing the value and the reasoning and the purpose of your idea or your business all the way down the org chart every single day. From a sales standpoint, as you grow, you're going to be tempted to mass produce your pitch, but you want to keep it personal, right? You think about in the beginning of your business, you're the sales engine and you're trying to talk someone into believing in you and believing in your idea and believing in your service. So you're overdoing it, right? That sales call may last an hour and a half, whatever it is, maybe multiple sales calls. As you grow, you've got to condense your time. So it's natural to think we're going to have a cookie cutter approach to sales. Here's the deal though. You want to train your sales team, if you get there, to lead with curiosity and care. Yes, you want a beacon of here is our brand, right? Here's our brand. Here's what we do. So you want to be teaching your sales folks, here's our brand, and here's how we're going to talk about it. But each salesperson has to have some flexibility and enough emotional intelligence to gear that pitch. Think about the pitch as, you know, when you used to play, is it tetherball, where there's a pole in the ground and that bowl, you hit that ball and it's on a string or a rope and it goes round and round. That pole, that's the brand. That's the value. That's what we do. How we talk about it has some flexibility, but it's tethered to the pole. That's how you want to approach your sales game. You know who you are. You know what you're selling, but you've got to be able to adapt personally to the person you're in front of and speak their language in a way where they can go, aha, I do need what you're offering. From a profit standpoint, culture has an ROI. There's a return on investment on good cultures. When people feel safe, when people feel valued, they stay longer and they perform better. We say this a lot here, and I borrow it from Ken Blanchard. People who feel good about themselves are going to produce better results. And folks like to be around people that they enjoy. So the more that culture is fostered and the more that your mousetrap is collecting like-minded, value-based citizens into your organization, the longer they're going to stay. And when that happens, you're spending less on training, less on recruiting. Your attention is on growing the brand and serving customers versus how do I go to Indeed.com and find my next person to save me? Because people are sticking and they're over time getting in reps with your culture and your brand. And then finally, yourself. You set the tone, right? The leader sets the pace for the pack. If you appear rushed, if you appear reactive, if you appear unavailable, that becomes the culture. You got to take care of yourself. Model being present. Model taking a day off. Model taking your dog for a walk. Model high-fiving people. Model catching people doing things right. Create your space for reflection, for celebration and alignment. And as you do that, the team members that you're collecting are going to mirror your performance. That's just how it goes. The leader sets the pace for the pack. And if you're not taking care of yourself, that is a signal that that is not welcomed in the environment. When folks are not operating close to 100% productivity, results get challenged. Scaling without losing your soul is possible. We always talk about being corporate enough. So this is never about over-systematizing your business to where you're soulless. It's about paying attention to the culture in the lanes of people, sales, profit, and self. And it all starts with being an intentional leader. Hope this was helpful, and until next time, stay well coached. Well, guys, that's a wrap for today. We thank you a ton for listening and looking forward to the next episode where we'll continue this journey on how becoming corporate enough can put you in your highest productivity zone to create a successful, profitable, and purpose-driven business for you.